Hello everyone, Ray here. I'm a financial analyst and today we have a rather interesting topic at hand. We're going to delve into the intricacies of Budget 2024 and more specifically, we'll explore what this budget means for the middle class. We'll dissect the numbers, interpret the policies, and ultimately determine how this budget impacts the daily life of the average middle class citizen. So, without further ado, let's dive into Budget 2024. Before we delve into the specifics, it's important to understand what a budget is. In the simplest terms, a budget is a plan for your money. It's like a roadmap for where your income is going, helping you allocate funds for various needs and wants. But on a national scale, things get a little more complex. The national budget is an annual financial statement presenting the government's proposed revenues and spending for a fiscal year. It's like a household budget, but for an entire country. The national budget essentially outlines the government's plan on how it will earn and spend money in the forthcoming year. It's important because it reflects the government's policies and priorities. The budget is a critical economic tool. It allows the government to decide on the allocation of resources to specific areas such as health, education, defense, infrastructure, and much more. This allocation of resources directly affects the economy's performance and individuals' lives. For instance, if the government decides to invest more in education, it could lead to better schools, more teachers, and ultimately a more educated workforce. On the other hand, if the government invests more in infrastructure, we might see more roads, bridges, and public transport, which could make commuting easier and boost economic activity. The budget also affects individuals on a personal level. It determines the taxes you pay, the public services you receive, and even the price of goods and services. A well-planned budget can stimulate economic growth, reduce inequality, and improve the overall well-being of the population. However, it's important to remember that a budget is a plan, and like all plans, it may not always go as expected. Unforeseen circumstances, like an economic downturn or a global pandemic, can throw a wrench in the works and force the government to rethink its budget. Now, armed with this understanding, we can proceed to analyze the 2024 budget. Now let's take a look at some of the key provisions in the 2024 budget. First up, we have the income tax slabs. The government has decided to keep them unchanged. So if you're earning between 5 and 10 lakh rupees annually, you're still looking at a tax rate of 20%. Those earning over 10 lakh rupees, the tax rate remains at 30%. It's a bit of a mixed bag here. But remember, no news is sometimes good news. Next, we've got some updates on the standard deduction. It's been increased from 50,000 to 60,000 rupees. This means you get to subtract an extra 10,000 rupees from your income before you calculate your tax. Not a huge jump, but every little bit counts, right? Now, let's move to the housing sector. The government has extended the benefit of an additional deduction of 1.5 lakh rupees on interest paid on home loans. This could be a significant relief for those of you who are homeowners or are planning to become one. Here's something for the investment enthusiasts. The limit under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act has been raised to 2 lakh rupees from 1.5 lakh. This means you can now invest more in tax-saving instruments and reduce your taxable income. Finally, let's talk healthcare. The government has allocated a higher budget for healthcare with a focus on strengthening public health infrastructure. This could lead to better healthcare facilities and services in the coming years, but it's not all rosy. The fuel prices have seen a hike, which could indirectly affect the monthly budget of many middle-class families. These are just a few highlights. Let's continue to explore further. Still with me? Great, let's continue breaking down the budget. We've already talked about some major points, but there's a lot more to unpack, especially in terms of how it impacts the middle class. One of the key highlights of the budget 2024 is the introduction of new tax slabs. These slabs are designed to reduce tax liability for the middle income groups. This means more savings, and who doesn't love that? The budget also proposes a significant increase in the standard deduction limit. This is a direct benefit to salaried individuals as it reduces their taxable income. The result? A lighter tax burden on your hard-earned money. Another interesting point is the emphasis on affordable housing. The government has extended the benefits under Section 80 EEA till March 2025. So, if you're planning on buying a house, you could save a considerable amount on your home loan interest. Healthcare, too, isn't left behind. The budget proposes to increase the limit of health insurance premium deductions. With the rising healthcare costs, this is indeed a welcome move. Education is another area where the budget aims to make a difference. The government plans to increase the spending on education, especially on digital learning. This could mean better resources and infrastructure for students, paving the way for a more digitized and inclusive education system. Moving on, the government also plans to increase the limit for claiming deductions on interest earned on savings accounts. This could encourage more savings, providing a safety net for the middle class. And lastly, the budget proposes to increase the Public Provident Fund (PPF) limit. The PPF is a favorite among the middle class for its tax-saving benefits. The increased limit means you can invest more and save more on taxes. So, as we can see, the Budget 2024 has several provisions aimed at easing the financial burden on the middle class. From tax reliefs to increased spending on key areas, it's clear that the middle class stands to benefit in numerous ways. Now, let's summarize what we've discussed so far. We've covered a lot of ground today, so let's recap. The 2024 budget has been a mixed bag for the middle class. The introduction of tax slabs and the increase in standard deduction are steps in the right direction, ensuring a fairer distribution of income. This, coupled with the heightened emphasis on affordable housing and the various subsidies offered, will undoubtedly ease the financial burden on the middle class, not to forget the boost given to the healthcare sector. The rise in healthcare budget allocation is likely to improve facilities and make healthcare more accessible for everyone, especially the middle class. The budget has also introduced schemes focusing on improving the quality of education, an area that has been demanding attention for a while now. However, the increase in fuel prices and the unchanged tax slabs for the upper middle class might add to their woes. It's important to remember that every budget has its winners and losers, and it's all about finding a balance. In conclusion, while the 2024 budget has its fair share of hits and misses, it does seem to be a step in the right direction, especially considering the challenges faced by the middle class. The government's focus on sectors like healthcare, education, and affordable housing is commendable, and it will be interesting to see how these initiatives play out in the future. That's it for today, folks. I hope this video helped you understand the 2024 budget a bit better. This is Ray, your financial analyst, signing off. Before we end, I have a small request. If you've found this video insightful, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. They might find it useful too. If you haven't already, please subscribe to stay updated with all the latest content. Got any questions or didn't quite understand something? Drop a comment below. I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching, and remember, knowledge is power. Until next time, take care.